we're going to start the Agri-Tech mentorship talks. And we want to start with the story of a young woman farmer who moved from an emergency medical technician to the farm fields. I don't want to spill everything. Shall we put our hands together as we welcome Nana Pomaa, an award-winning rabbit and piggery farmer.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Of course, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. You are not too rich to start a business, neither are you too poor to start up a business. Hard times create strong men. Weak men create hard times. Agriculture is the backbone of the country. And as youth, we are the future leaders of this country. So it's about time we develop interest in the agribusiness. My name is Nana Pomaa Tipim. I was born and bred in Bibiani in the Western North region. I started my primary education and my basic education in Bibiani. After that, I continued, furthered my secondary education in Kumasi King's College. After King's College, I traveled to the United Kingdom, where my dad is. He's a British born by birth. So I went and then he enrolled me in the college over there. As time went on, I decided to come back to Ghana and I start something for myself. In fact, it was difficult for my father to understand and then appreciate what I was about doing. So it got to a time he refused to communicate with me when I was here in Ghana. But I persevered, and here I am today sharing my experience with you. When I came back, I joined the National Ambulance Service. And then when we graduated, some few years in the service, I decided to go into farming. I had nothing. I had no capital to start farming. But because I was determined, I started doing something. I moved from Accra to Asante Achem South, more so to be precise. And then I started the pig farming. I didn't have any land. I didn't have money to purchase the pigs. I started with only 2 pigs. I bought one on credit. And then, because I didn't have a land, the person whom I bought the pigs from gave me a small portion to start up over there. Going forward, the National Entrepreneurship and Innovative Plan came. My husband contested and he won. And then he also invested the money. Actually, we had wanted, the amount was 50,000. We requested for 50,000. But we were given 20,000. Of course, half a loaf is better than none. It depends on how you utilize what you have at hand. So we made good use of that 20,000. We started, and here I am. Because we didn't have any money, we took it upon ourselves to start the thing with our strength. So this is what we were doing. At some point, the animals, when they followed the 2 pigs, the numbers were increasing. So we had to extend the pens for them. But because the place wasn't for me, in fact, it was very difficult for me. So when the money from the NIP came, we rented a place, bought some numbers, and then increased the number of the breeding stock. Unfortunately, last year, when I went to the farm, I met an unfortunate incident. I saw that my pigs were dying. I thought it was an outbreak of a disease, but upon investigations, we came to realize it was food poisoning. I lost about 87 pigs 93 rabbits. I had goats, sheep, but the village where I am, in fact, if you're able to live there, to share your story one day, all my animals are gone now. But because I was determined, I never gave up. Now, I've been able to secure a place, my own place, and then I have about 146 pigs now. $81 pigs, I'm still counting. And now I have introduced poultry, quail farming to be precise. So this is my story, the story of this, a young farmer. It hasn't been easy, but as we are here, we are youth. We are the future leaders of this country. In fact, my dear ladies here, please, we should bear in mind that, in fact, we should bear in mind we are all struggling, but we shouldn't let our agenda limit us. We should never let our agenda limit us at all. We should try and then make something useful for ourselves, because we equally have families to also take care of. And then families that will be proud of us. We should never give up. And then as youth, I started with nothing. Don't think that you have nothing. The least thing that you have, at least you can make good use of it. And then in setting up a business, though it's risky, but you shouldn't be afraid to take risk. If the risk that you take, you win your risk, you'll be happy. If you lose, don't call yourself a failure, but it takes an experience for you to direct you on what to do next. This is my farm. Now, the youth here, I'm saying, it's better late than never. Let us all come together and then help our nation grow. The COVID-19 came, it has taught us a lesson. If it hasn't, please, this is the time for you to realize that the COVID-19 has taught us a lesson. When the countries were locked, when borders were locked down, it was difficult importing. So if we are to plant what we eat here, we will not rely on importations to feed ourselves. Thank you.
Wow. We have time for questions. If you have questions for Nana Pomaa, the takeaways for me, she spoke about the need to take a decision when she traveled outside and she wanted to come back. Whatever it is, you need to take a decision at a point. And then she was determined. It hasn't been easy. And particularly she mentioned, don't be afraid. If you lose, don't call yourself a failure. That's a big one. Right, any questions for Nana? Okay, there's a question here.
Thank you very much. Nana, my question to you is that the earlier presenters that we had, we heard both of them say that they learned something from some aspect through Agrihouse. You have told us that you failed with your first attempt, but through your perseverance, you're still ongoing. Have you been able to contact agribusiness to give you some expertise that they have at their disposal in order for you to carry on with the new thing that you are doing? Thank you.
Thank you. In fact, I haven't done that because I just came into contact with Agrihouse just last year when they organized the Wolf Agric and then the Good in the Soil Award, and then I was fortunate to be nominated and then won the category of being the star woman of that category. So that is how I came into contact with Agrihouse. But I think the things that they are exposing me now, I've not been able to sit down with them, as you are saying, telling them my challenges and the way forward. But it's a plan. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Please, my question is, we all see it clearly that these days, young people want to travel abroad because they believe there's greener pastures there. Even in Libya, where the whole land is desert, people still believe there is green pastures over there. Now, my question is, you went abroad, you had the opportunity to go to abroad, your father was even there, and you should have stayed there because of the belief that it's better over there than here. There should have been something that pushed you to actually want to come back to Ghana to start. And that is what I want to know. What pushed you to leave the greener pastures to come back to Ghana to start something in the agribusiness? Thank you.
Thank you. In fact, I like staying in Ghana because I was born and bred here. And then I don't like a situation whereby you'll be swollen headed. See, my dad is in abroad, so no, I'm a youth. Whatever I do, I have to do it here in Ghana and then help my nation grow. Because the youth over there, whatever they are doing to help their countries develop. So why don't I come back? Why don't I come back and then also do something for my country? That is why I came, and when I came, I decided to go into farming. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, Nana, I want to find out from you. You took risk from maybe leaving your parents in UK or wherever it was to come to Ghana to do this. Maybe the time you were coming, they couldn't believe, maybe they thought, what is wrong with our daughter? Now we are seeing something. You have made it. Is your result attracting them to actually put investment in what you are doing? Thank you. My name is David Andor. I work for MyJoyOnline.com.
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Andor.
In fact, when I started, my father never appreciated what I was doing. But as time goes on, he's now appreciating, especially when through Agrihouse, I was published in the Dairy Graphic. I sent him a copy. In fact, he was very happy. And then, even this program, when I was coming, I told him that there is a program in Accra that they want me to come. And he said, okay, that's good. He's very happy. And then, I am not working now. It's my husband who is supporting the business with his salaries that he makes. But my dad now sends me money to invest in my business.
Wow. So you see, the publication came as a result of Agric, which is sponsored by Yara Ghana. A round of applause for Yara.
Please, I'm Emilia Techimenson from Ejura Agri College. And my question is, obviously we could see you went through a whole lot of risk. So I want to ask, going through those risks, what kept you going? What kept you moving forward and not giving up on your dream? Thank you.
Thank you. My determination kept me going. The day when I went and saw my animals, I was very sad and didn't know what to do. But on a second thought, I said to myself, just be proud of yourself for going through all this, because one day you are going to reap it big. So that is it. Because I was determined, I'm not looking back. And then I'm focusing. There is something that I want to achieve. And then prove to Ghanaians that the youth, we can do better. I want to build a brand company in this country. Just as there are so many brands outside. So Agrihouse Farms will be a brand, a future brand in Ghana very soon. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So there's one last question. I said that was the last one, but the very, very last one. Nana will be around so we can engage her.
My name is Esther Mausi Azanu from GH Media School. My question is, she mentioned earlier that when she started the farming, she started with piggery and she got only 2, which one of them was even from...
I bought that on credit and then
Yes.
paid for one.
she bought one on credit and appealed for one. So basically, she had nothing to start that business with. And she even said the land she got to start the business with was from the owner of the pig. And so I want to find out. She said she started with a 2, and at a time, she lost a lot of them through food poisoning, both the rabbit farm and then the piggery farm. She lost a lot of them. I want to find out, how did you start with that level, and then you got to the extent where that huge number of animals got killed, and then you started again and you got to this level?
Thank you. I said I had a support from the National Entrepreneurship and Innovative Plan. So I added up the number of the breeds. And then if in pig farming, if you are able to put all your things in order, the pig can follow in 3 times within a year for you. And then I started this business somewhere. I'm approaching my 4th or 3rd year. So the number that I added increased the number of pigs that I have. Hope you are okay.
Okay. Now, please sit down for me. A very last one, I promise.
My name is Maxwell, UDS. My question is, you've made mention of the land being the challenge that you face in starting your piggery.
Please come again.
You've made mention that land and then getting the pigs were the main issues you face in starting your business. So apart from the land and that of obtaining the pigs for the starting, what are the other challenges that you face in the process of raising those pigs that as someone who wants to start can take note of and then build upon?
Thank you. It's fun. Access to funding is the main problem in pig farming. And then we all can testify to the fact that pigs, they really eat a lot. So if you don't have the means, and then if you are not determined, you will never venture into it. And the banking sectors too. Animal farming, when you go for a loan from the banks, the repayment time, the most time they give is 6 months. But animal farming is quite different from crop farming and vegetable farming, because you buy an animal, say the pig, at say age 4 months, then you have to breed it for another 4 months before it starts following. You cross it before it starts following. When I say following, giving birth. And then when it gives birth, you give it some time. You don't just sell the mother straight away, because you are adding up. You are now coming to set up your breeding stock. So after getting a number that will serve as your breeding stock, that is where, when the others, you dispose them off. So it's very difficult for bank to give loan out to animal farmers. So funding is the main problem. The cost of feed also is a problem. And then the cost of the drugs that we use when they are sick. But with the determination, as I started with 2, I knew how I was going about. And then here I am today. So funding will be your problem. So if you are determined to venture into pig farming, though it's labor intensive, it's capital intensive, with the least amount, you can start. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nana Pomaa. I think she deserves a bigger round of applause. Thank you.